But they even have rules about when you actually write down your own notes on their scratch papers. So before the test, they have this thing where you have to acknowledge the rules, and you have to read and acknowledge how you answer questions on the test, how you take the test pretty much. Do not start writing until you actually see, do not start writing down your notes to unload what you want to remember until you actually physically start, question one. Because if you write down anything before that point, they could say you were trying to cheat or whatever and invalidate your test. If you have any questions, please ask them at the testing center. Read your directions carefully and just don't write before you're allowed to. Okay, let's see. So I told you how I studied, which was just to go over. I predominantly used the videos and a little bit in conjunction with the study guide I printed off. For my one-page cheat sheet, I wrote down phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, and what explicit phonics instruction meant. That's going to come up a lot in different variations, iterations on the test. So I suggest you get to know what those mean. Let's see, I used the Measured Mom, 5 Things You Need to Know About Phonological and Phonemic Awareness, to help make up my one-page cheat sheet, because I wanted to be sure about phonological and phonemic awareness. And she had a very good explanation in the first couple of minutes of her video. To be honest, I didn't watch the whole video. I think I got her video a day or two before the test, but I just wanted to use something that was clear and concise that I could write down to study the day before. But back to my one-page notes, my quick notes. Phonological awareness is just an umbrella term, and it has to do with sounds. And when the student has phonological awareness, they have the ability to rhyme, count syllables, understand the concept of word, which means they can count words and sentences, and phonemic awareness. Now, the next one I put down was phonemic awareness. This has to do with sounds, not letters. So again, phonological awareness and phonemic awareness have to do with sounds. And this means the student has the ability to play with sounds and words, which means they can isolate words, segment words, break them down into sounds or phonemes. And also, when you're looking up phonics terms, make sure you look up the terms for like phonemes, graphemes, morphemes, and get an understanding of what those mean. So I said segment sounds, they can blend sounds and manipulate sounds. And even with my descriptions, I just put down the 4 words: isolate, separate, blend, and manipulate, just to get those 4 terms in my brain. And I put descriptions. So for isolate words, you would ask a student, what's the first sound in boat? So since this is phonemic awareness, it has to do with sounds, you want them to say "buh," not tell you "be." And like blend sounds, put these sounds together to make a word, and you would tell a student "f," "I," "sh," and they have to blend those together, and they would get fish. And the last one, I'm going to skip the other ones, but the last one, which has to do with hearing and seeing, hearing the sounds and seeing the letters and making those connections, is phonemic, which goes into the explicit phonemic instruction, and that's letter and their associated sound connections, which would be the phonemes. And this has to do with blending, building, and the beginning and ending, and the blending of sounds into syllables and then words. And I just kind of wrote down word identification strategies, because this is what's going to go hand in hand with the phonemic instruction, sort of like I did with phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. If they have word identification strategies, this is going to help them with their phonics learning. And so the use of phonics in general is the patterns, which when you get into teaching older students, that's when they'll get into like Greek words, Greek and Latin root words and things like that, and multi-syllable words. So the use of phonics, which includes patterns, which could be something as simple as CVC, vowel digraphs, silent E, consonant blends, things like that. the analysis of words, which is more about the structure, multisyllable words, chunking, inflections like ed for the past tense, s for plurals, the affixes and roots, things like that. Context clues. This really helps you out with the mistakes they might make in their running records. When you're dealing with context clues, you want to see their strengths. You want to see if they understand the syntax of things, if it didn't sound right, or the semantics, if it doesn't make sense, or is there something in what the student read that made them go back and check and see why they missed it the first time. And that's something that would have to do with their strengths if they actually go and check these things that didn't sound right or didn't make sense. A weakness, which you could also use these same things on your on the essay, would be substitutions. And that's a weakness because if they're reading and they see light and they say lie, they look similar, but they really don't make sense, and they just put that substitution because they know lie, and they didn't understand that they didn't properly read or have the sight word knowledge to say light, or the patterns, the understanding of patterns to know the IGHT. So that will be a weakness when you see them using substitutions, and that's something they really look for in the essay portion. And lastly, for the word identification strategies is sight words, which I just mentioned. And basically, you want to understand, does the student have automaticity? Can they just automatically see and understand and read these sight words without really having to use any, they're sight words, so you wouldn't be using any phonics cues to decipher them. It's supposed to be automatic because some of these words you just can't decode. That's why they're sight words. So yeah, I think that's about it. This is probably going to be my only video. I was just really excited about passing tests, and I said if I pass my foundations of reading, I'm going to make a video, and hopefully I can help somebody else. You don't have to subscribe to this channel. If you would like to, you can, but please like the video. Leave any messages. Let me know if it was helpful, or if someone else can use it, pass it along. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. I'll answer. Leave comments and let me know what you think. All right, thank you. Bye.